So, hi, here's Florian with a new podcast guest. So I would say, for the start, introduce yourself.
Okay, hi. Thank you for having me. My name is Baum, and how can I start? I live in Berlin for 6 years. I'm originally from Tel Aviv. I built two companies while I would say during coming to Berlin, and one of them is W Lounge that I hope all of your audio already know it, which is, we call it the tech ecosystem. It's connecting everything, every layer between technology and money. And the otherwise is coming up fund of funds, MAGDAGROUP, that we believe that will disrupt Germany and Europe when it comes to the right network to get, funding and communicate with potential investors and great portfolio, and hopefully we will see much more unicorns coming up out of our ecosystem.
Cool. So you have quite a journey behind you, and how you said you started in Tel Aviv. So how was it on the beginning? Why and what was your first company, and why did you start it?
While I was in Tel Aviv, I built 4 companies. So I will tell you about the last one because I was super young while I started. And I think everyone's starting because he feels that he has a mission and he can change something significant. So the last one was educational toys for kids. So we had the R&D in Tel Aviv while we had manufacturing in China, in Dongguan, which is close to Shenzhen. The main market was the US, but very fast we actually implemented other markets. So it was European market and also Asia. So eventually we had 40 markets, but it was 8 years of leading these companies, having several rounds of investments. Also, my husband was part of this company, was head of the design. And it was a journey. Like, I think it's a huge part of who I am today. So while taking the decision that the business is okay or big enough so I can step it down, we took a decision to move to Berlin. Of course, we wanted the kids to grow up here, but originally all the family is from Berlin. So we felt like we really wanted to raise the kids here.
So first, what was the main motivation to start your last venture in Tel Aviv? And how did the decision process goes down to give it away and then come to a new country, to a new city?
Wow. I mean, there's no one answer for that. There is kind of like, things that you are dealing with and bringing it a certain decision. Building the company came from a need. We were like super young parents and we saw, let's say, the potential or the amount of also money, but also efforts and knowledge that young parents are investing in their kids. So we have 2 kids today. They are teenagers, but back then they were like super young. And we built a product, a line of product that came as a competitor to the market because I would say, allocated a niche that made us very unique. So once we saw the need, and the niche was like educational toys for kids, but we brought it with a lot of storytelling and characters and a lot of, I would say, emotional connections to the market. So even our biggest competitor that were bigger than us, stronger than us in any means or in any level, we actually, I would say, won the shelves because the design was different, the mission was different, the address to the market, to the parents was different. So we were a super young company, but with a very, very innovative idea and absolutely great product. Growing through that and bringing tons of money to the system because the system needs to grow. It was very, very, I would say, challenging, growing from market to market, each market different need. More product has to come to the market quite fast, while others are like just starting. So there is a lot to deal with. 8 years, it's a lot of time. And, this was probably was my third baby back then. And at some point you feel actually very positive with, okay, like we've built something and now the baby can go, can walk by himself. And this is, I believe, a very positive process. And I have to tell you that don't forget that back then I was still Israeli with a very Israeli mindset, which means you build a company with the big aim to exit. While I, learned so much from being a German in Berlin, it's actually amazing to build company to sustain, but the mindset is very different.
So you had a company for 8 years, and then you said it's big enough, it can survive itself. So now I can let it go because it's grown up enough.
Yeah, of course, we had investors, we had partners, we had great people. So exactly, like, while I built this company, I won't say lucky, but I was kind of like pushing very hard. So I was a lot in China, of course, as a production line, and I was a lot in the States and Nuremberg Toy Fair and, Kinderjugend in Köln and all these, I would say, professional toy exhibitions. So those brought a lot of good people into my life. And in New York, I was, and still I will be forever, because again, it's people to people, part of a Women in Toys Licensing Entertainment Organization, which is women-led organization. Back then it was 25 years already. And every year we celebrate the ecosystem. So the women led that, but the men were the biggest supporter. So while being part of their board members, I got a lot of exposure, A, to my brand, B, to people, that are taking decisions. So this was me with my small company, and huge companies like, Toys R Us, Target, Walmart, and so on. But this actually teach me that it doesn't matter if your product is very good and you have, I would say, you bring smart solution to the market, the right people around you will help you, but you have to have the right people around you. So for me, I learned that eventually business is people to people. And you have to have these opportunities, this door to be open to get the chance. And this is something I learned through really, I thought I'm building the brand, I'm pushing the brand, but eventually I saw very, very fast that because of these people, I really get, what can I say, the best deal, in the company.
Yeah, so you built up the company for 8 years. You raised the family on the side or with your family, and then you said suddenly, okay, I will sell it and go to a new country to start all over again. Or how did it felt to leave this behind you?
It wasn't that, clear process. It was like while moving to Berlin, I actually learned a lot about factories here. I went to MAGDAGROUP and a lot of, places that I saw different culture and different way of manufacturing. So it was a phase of change. And I think once I really stepped to Berlin, I saw an amazing city. We came from because of personal reason, but I stayed because of business reason. Berlin is amazing, but Berlin is still at least 10 to 15 years behind. So I would say, as a business mindset or as a business person, you understand that there's so much potential here. There's so much to do. There's so much to learn from other ecosystems like New York and Silicon Valley that I'm still and was very, very involved in, and absolutely China. But they did stuff very well and also very bad. So we should take the good things and build it here. And this is exactly what we're doing with W Lounge. Taking the good stuff, bringing it here, bringing smart money, bringing talents, using the amazing assets and talents that we already have here. So these things I learned, let's say, the first year when I would say came to Berlin. And I saw that I had so much to say. So like, absolutely, I feel that Germany is my home, but Berlin is my mission, because I see the potential and I know that we have, yes, the capital, yes, the talent. Building Berlin as being a successful global hub. This is something that I found that I would love and I would say happy to be part of this progress. And I think we are in this progress this year.
Well, you said like Berlin is 5 years behind. What do you exactly mean by that? Like, where is the Berlin startup sector or the industry sector behind?
The speed, the amount of the capital that is available, the awareness of the global market, being a competitor globally and not locally, think globally, be open for local and global, I would say, source of capital. But the main thing is to grow faster than you see startup or companies today.
So what is the lack? Why are the German companies, would you say, slow? Like, what's the reason for that?
There are many reasons. And as I always pointed out, diversity is a key, because if you are, let's say, 3 boys from the same university, from the same background, you think that you have the best product, but you probably miss tons of opportunities, markets, and potential other users, because you're just not aware enough of other opportunities for your market. So I think this is one of the problems. We are not diverse enough. Yes, comparing to Germany, yes, absolutely. Berlin is more diverse, but we are not diverse enough. And when it comes to potential investors, we have public money, which is heaven for someone that came from New York or Tel Aviv. It's stronger, much stronger infrastructure for entrepreneurship here, but still the money is not available enough, not in the numbers that we want to see, and it's still kept into these family offices, corporates, and so on. And corporates and companies have to understand that if they want to adapt technology, which means invest into the younger or future economy generation, they will become museum. No one will buy their product if they are not adapt to the younger consumer or to the technology. But we see it more and more. I have to say I'm super positive, because we see it better and better. But let's say since I came to Berlin until today, which is almost 6 years, we are in totally different places. It's absolutely fantastic movement.
Yeah, I had one podcast guest which asked me how I would see the difference between the German or the Berlin startup ecosystem to America. And out of his experience, he said, it seems like the Berlin people are way too relaxed. They, quote unquote, chill too much. And he said, like, it seems like the Americans work harder. And he wonders.
I don't think they work harder. Sorry. I think that it's culture. When you don't have a role model, when you don't see huge success, and you don't believe that you can achieve it, you don't know how to change it.
It's also depending how you define huge success, because I wonder if you grow too fast, if you can sustain it. It will be definitely interesting to see if a recession hits now with the coronavirus. We would see which startups are built up in a sustainable way, and can survive, and which will die out of just the market situation. What's your take on the whole? Like how we?
I mean, it's a very, very good point that you raised here, because, if you want to pay your employee as a startup in Tel Aviv or in Silicon Valley or in New York, you have to earn a lot of money or to raise a lot of money. If you want to hire top talent to make sure that your product is very good and not only nice to have, it costs a lot of money, which means you cannot have grants or money and live out of it for, let's say, a year or year and a half. It's absolutely, a marathon. And there are absolutely fantastic people here all over Germany, absolutely all over Europe, that are doing this marathon, but it's not enough in terms of capacity. Like if you will see Waze from Tel Aviv, if you will see Mobileye from Tel Aviv, this is people that build stuff from scratch, and at some point sold the company. I'm not saying that this is supposed to be the end of every company, but it's supposed to give a global asset. And you understand that you have to push to be the first to win or the first to lead, and we're still not there. This is what I meant in growing fast enough. In terms of Corona, you're totally right, and I'm there is a message. If I can send a message here, is that I see and hearing venture capitals and M&A, or mainly corporates, I would say, that actually putting everything on hold right now, and this is disaster. Like, we have to keep moving to not, kill those that still have an opportunity to grow, not, take back term sheet or things that we see, because it's not time to invest. It's the opposite. It's the time to reevaluate. It's the time to negotiate. It's the time to invest more. It's the time to really push the economy and the ecosystem and the younger generation forward. Maybe slower, for sure, not maybe, but absolutely not freeze it.
Yeah, out of my perspective, the interesting or the good thing about the recession is the recession accounts for everyone. Like, everyone has problems to get money. Everyone has similar issues resulting out of a recession, and so you can still probably build up good companies, just in a different way. If I remember correctly, LinkedIn was built in a recession, and they were quite slow, I think, or like at least slower, but it still worked out. So that's also an interesting different topic, because you shifted a bit, like you went way away from entrepreneurial, more in the direction of investor. So how did your perspective change?
First of all, I have to tell you something about what you just mentioned, because I think this is the key. Even if I will see W Launch. So W Launch eventually is amazing network that we know how to connect the dots. We bring the right partners, the right speakers, the right audience at the same place, that everyone feels that this is a huge value for them. Like, if it wasn't a huge value for myself, I wouldn't do it. So it's very business focused. So this is why the value is there. But Corona time, we're not allowed to do events, which is killing me in person, because I love it. But we have to kind of like, okay, what we have is an asset, and we do understand exactly what we have in an asset. But it's really what you mentioned. We focused much more and reshape ourselves. I mean, of course, we will never stop to do events, connection, network, introduction between corporates, between startups. And of course, me being very involved in European Commission is actually bringing another layer of asset to the German ecosystem. So, of course, we won't stop. But, we are reshaping everything right now, and things that they weren't in the priority actually getting first priority, which means I was always dreaming about having, online sessions that I can bring superstars from Tel Aviv, New York, Silicon Valley, China, also to communicate with the German ecosystem. And this is about time, because now it's super easy. We are all at home. Everyone wants to contribute. You don't need extra crazy budget for that. Corporates that, or I would say conferences that we are collaborating with, we can put them at the forefront. They can share more message, like IBB and Berlin Partner. They are working so hard to I would say, as a government, to support the economy right now, so we can bring them to the forefront and they can share it with our community and so on. which means still access to knowledge, to skill has to reshape right now. And this is something that we are working on that. And I believe that we will continue with that even after Corona, because, hey, you know what? We find another channel that we didn't put enough effort before. So coming back to your question, maybe again, it's the different culture, but I don't believe so. If you build a company and you know how much it's hard to scale and to grow, and if I can make it shorter or smarter journey for others, why not? And no startup will come today only for the money. They are coming for smart money, which is the next generation of entrepreneurs, I would say. And the same as investors. Investors are coming, or good investors are coming with really great network, which means when their portfolio needs to scale, they know how to support them. So that was my time to understand that being strong ecosystem and be a strong connector, this is another layer to provide another value. Because when you are connecting people, you're not into deals, it's in other people's decision. But once you are also the connector, but also the investor, you can absolutely be part of the growth and take them to the next level and journey, and for co-investments with other partners, to open them for other markets, strategic partners, much more deal flow between the venture capitalists and so on. So I think this was I would say the kick that pushed me to start to think as an investor and to become one.
Would you say there's another layer behind it? So you said already the direction goes more to smart money. Do you say there's another step to it? Maybe smart money with connections, or I don't know, smart money with employees? Would you say there's another level coming up?
I mean, let's even define what is smart money. Either someone just came to you and give you, I don't know, 500K. Okay, this is take my money. When you grow, I grow. Which I did also this mistake when I built one of my companies. But smart money, it comes with what influential this money is also bringing to this company. Sometimes it's great advisor. Sometimes it's great access to the second round. Sometimes it's someone that is super connected to the industry, so it can build or open doors for potential customer, second round of investment, and so on and so on. So when the money comes, not certainly only for the euros, this is a smart money. And today, startups are going also for venture capital that they know they can take care of them, not only in this level, but for the long journey together.
Yeah, and there's one issue you said, that there's not so many money and smart money available in Berlin. What would you say is a way to change this or to fix that?
I think there is a lot of money in Berlin, in Germany. It's a lot of money, absolutely. As Israeli startup, you have to go outside to bring the money, or let's say the American and the Chinese are very, very hands-on in Israel, so you don't have to go, but they are actually, foreigner money, let's call it. But comparing to that, Germany has all the infrastructure and the source. So there is a lot of money, which is fantastic, because we do lay on entrepreneurship history, successful entrepreneurship history. And smart money becomes like, for example, if you look at the automobility industry, for example. So those companies that understand that they need to adapt technology and investing in smart mobility or smart tools or even gaming that they are using to upgrade their own process, the products, this is amazing collaboration. So if you are an Israeli and you need to go to New York to find the right strategic partner for you, or the market, or the right volume of the market for your product, here you actually don't need to go so far away because it's here. So this is something I'm really, what can I say? I'm really appreciating, because I came from a place that it's not like this. And this is something that, going back to what you told me, like you feel that, or you heard that the startup are too convenience. This is the problem, you need to step in, you need to put yourself in the front foot and say that you are building a global product that has to solve, or going to solve XYZ problems. And those corporates, those, I would say, industry or hidden champions, they need to adapt that more and faster.
Yeah, makes sense. We also talked a bit that diversity can help a lot in this whole thing. What is diversity for you? Like, how do you define diversity?
Of course, the initial thought, it's like gender diverse, but it's not only. I mean, to be very honest, one of the things that we put on MAGDAGROUP is that if there is a venture capital that doesn't have even one woman in the team, or if there is a venture capital that never invested in women, not necessarily only female founded women, but like, you understand, the team is diverse, we're not going to step in, or we're going to give them a chance to change that. I'm super happy to say that even already with W Launch, we see great change. Even like the biggest name, they are changing, they are adapting this, they understand that this is for their own successful, because diversity is better for the numbers. It's not a social issue. For your question, how I see diversity, imagine you have 10 people in your startup, and one person is from Asia, and one person is from America, and one person is a gay, and one person is a lady, and one person is a man, and one person is a father, one person is a single. I mean, how many ideas, brainstorming, information can flow into the discussion, because you're probably covering better what you need to know, what you are actually exploring when you need to launch your product, or which market to address, or what opportunity you have in Indian market or in China market. How can you know it if you don't even work with people that understand these markets? So diversity is many things, and I think it's touched also then gender diversity, but absolutely not only.
So if you say you try to bring diversity in, and you're, how you said, like you're a free people company, all similar background, all started from university, and you want to open up your startup to more diversity, and it's probably not enough to just look for someone which is just different. What would be the key personality traits, or the key things you would look for, which helps you to say, okay, this is a different person, but it should work with them?
I mean, first of all, you have to try. I mean, you can never know. But, we are talking a lot in Germany, in Berlin, about relocation, because at some point we have to be super happy that Berlin is very, very attractive to talent people that's coming from really all over the world. This is how Tel Aviv built itself. This is how Silicon Valley built itself. It's not necessarily only the local people or the native people. It's all together. And this mix is very, very good to the business. So if the person, or let's say if his personality or her personality is fit to the team and to the mission of the company, I would definitely give it a try. I mean, you can only search and check. And, being very involved in even like, let's say, in the Berlin tech ecosystem, I see so many people hiring, a company hiring people. Sometimes it's a huge success story that they kind of like born in this company, and sometimes not. But those companies, those startup or growth startup that are already starting to hire people, they have to be very open. They have to be very open to include and to adjust to many different culture within the company. I mean, it's happening already in big companies. There's nothing new, but the early, I would say, as early as you do it, you probably will grow faster and you will build your company for success.
Yeah, and it's a good guideline to just check if they are committed to the goal and to the vision of the company, and then you have a good guideline that they probably will it will work really well, and the rest is try out, how you said. So
yes, we are even working on something that actually will allocate students already to work within the corporates. You know, there is also a pain point that there is a lack of communication between both of these parties, which they really, really need each other. So yeah, this is also something that we are working on the pipeline.
Yeah, definitely. So we already talked a bit about the woman in tech or woman in entrepreneurship situation. Sadly, it's like that they are still underrepresented. How you would say what could help, or what would be good things to do to bring this more on the equal level?
I mean, it's both sides, you know. When you said lack of, I would say 2%, which is even like nothing, you know. But I see it, and I'm always saying this is both sides, I would say, responsibility or mission, because I do still see a lot of, I would call it men, okay, just to talk the gender thing, that they are not letting women, you know, getting into their door, let's say. It's still absolutely existing, mainly if you will see board members, you know, of corporates and so on. There's almost, what can I say, zero women usually there. You know, we are also very close to FIDA and other organizations that we're all on the same mission. The question is like not talk about this, but do it, you know, how we implement that. So for me, with W Launch, we're actually doing this. With the fund of fund, we absolutely do it, because if they don't have it, we're not going to invest in them. But it's absolutely also on, I would say, huge responsibility on the woman part, because these are things that sometimes you're dealing with something, but sometimes when you have the big picture, you see a different way. And yes, today, you know, I'm not 20 something anymore, also not 30 something anymore. So I can say that there are a lot of talent ladies, super talent ladies, that are not there to dream big. They are not there to really, really walk the talk, you know, build their company, push it forward. A lot of them are really, what can I say, are not feeling the ownership that they need to feel. We are dealing with it so much. Like in W Launch, you know, we have an amazing team member, new team member, Janine, and she's actually came from workshop and coaching, which is something that I never touched. You know, I'm so focused on the business and the numbers, but it actually has to start within. So maybe this is answering your question. When you do believe in what you do, and you do, you know, you can close your eyes and see yourself in 5 years actually achieving what you dream to achieve, you will get there. You will get there. You only need the right, you know, infrastructure network, which we are also building, and Berlin is the right place to be. But there's a lot of women, global, of course, it's not local, it's a global issue, that are not there enough. And another thing is those ladies that already been there, done that, and they are very, I would say, high position or decision makers, they have to understand this is fantastic that they win it, they became successful, but they have to see the responsibility or the commitment to pull up others. It cannot be, it cannot be that you are the only woman around the table when it comes to board members. You have to take responsibility or try to I would say, to impact or to influence from the inside to have others as well.
Yeah. So it starts always with setting the goal and getting your own vision, and then it has a high chance to get fulfilled. You had a great journey. Would you say it was different, the journey as a woman, or would you say that didn't play a role?
Oh, yes, it is. I mean, okay, I would say this way. As much as I'm grown up, it's taking less and less role. As much as I was younger, oh my God, yes, of course. Like I did all the mistakes. Sometimes, we talked about that when we did like fantastic evening in Tier Mobility. They have initiatives that's called Women in Tier, which I'm supporting because I love it and this is so important. And we talked about, how you dressed. It just came up as a topic. And usually I'm dressing a suit. This is how I feel like better, or I don't know, this is kind of like feel comfortable. But it's not necessarily the right way for everyone. But when you come to talk with your investors or pitching in front of 5 guys in VC, there are a lot of young ladies that are doing a lot of mistakes with, the message that they're sending. So there's a lot of topics to talk about, or let's say to share with them the challenges, the mindset. I think it's mostly the mindset. So journey is one thing, but if you are learning during this journey and not doing the same mistakes, you are in the right, journey, I would say.
So, and what would you say are the main mistakes which are done out of your perspective?
So you can choose out of 100. Like be super flattered with the first check, that so-called business angel gave you. Done. Bad idea. Dressing like you are feeling very sexy and attractive. Done. Wrong idea. You have 2 seconds, what you want to address or to message that you want to send. And back then we said like you have 5 minutes. Forget it, it's 1 second. And today I would say in the other side, when I'm seeing ladies pitching almost every day, and you feel it in 2 seconds, you feel it if she's going to deliver or not. It's just there. So when you see it so much again and again, you just build some sensors, you just smell it. So I did all the mistakes, believe me. But the only things that I can say is when and if I did a mistake, I never did it twice. So I learned so much. Every day I'm still learning so much. And I think you, like all of us, if you are an entrepreneur, you have to keep your mindset open.
Would you say it boils down to just be yourself, and that's okay, and trust the feedback, trust the journey?
I would say be genuine with yourself. I mean, what is be yourself? Everyone can feel that they are yourself, but sometimes they're doing a lot of mistakes and sending the wrong message. While, I see a lot of people, not necessarily women, that they are fantastic, but the message that they are, or how they start to pitch their product, it's totally wrong. So be very honest or genuine, or ask yourself, okay, I have a product, I'm working on this for 1 year. Is it really going somewhere? This is really what the market needs. Be open for feedback, reshape it. No product came to the market and stay the same. You have to grow with the feedback, with the market, with apropos Corona, we all reshaping and adapting to the situation. And those entrepreneurs, those founders are big success. It's always like that. And this is a journey. This is absolutely a journey. And I think you should look at the mirror and ask yourself what I'm working at. Is it really good solution? Really the world need that? And if all those those answers are yes, you have to keep going and push it. If not, just, kind of like reshape it or rethink what it is and come back with something that is very, very sharp to the market.
Or do something completely else.
I mean, I saw as well, we see in textiles phenomenal people that sometime in 3 months, they reshape it for totally different product, but they're still amazing. They keep going, they understand the market, they close some customers only because they were flexible enough and open to listen to the market.
Yeah, exactly. So you had probably most of your life always a family next to your business ventures. Yeah. How do you handle the topic work-life balance?
Oh, you want to talk about my mother? Being a mother. I think in the last workshop that you came, we talked about find the best partner. And I have to tell you, you have to reshape, or not to shape, to actually build your life at the way you want. This is also part of what you asked me before, be genuine, if I'm capable of deliver, I'm a good executor for my dreams. If not, bring other people to support that. But I was always a mother. While I was in Tel Aviv, I will be very honest, I had tons of support from the family. When I went to China, Michael, my husband, always came with me, as a head of designer and so on. So, which means the kids were at home for 2 or 3 weeks at least. And we had tons of support all the time. But being a mother was always first priority, which means everything I'm doing, or I would say this is mirroring a lot of who I am. It's, are my kids proud of what I'm doing? Is my husband, supporting what I'm doing? It's not doubting myself. It's actually giving myself other empowering tools and understanding that I'm in the right phase. So being a mother, and I know that in Germany, it's kind of still a topic because a lot of the ladies, it doesn't matter how smart they are, they have the feeling that they have to choose. But I have to tell you that in other ecosystem, it's not even an option. For example, a Facebook CEO in Tel Aviv, she has 5 kids. No one is doubting her ability. So I gather a lot of support around myself. But, my kids actually grew up with it. If we had a company, so you will see my daughter on the packages, and if we did a launching, a big launching, so they were the model with their friends. So you actually combine everything together and build your life as one package that has to function as an oil machine, because there's no other way.
Yeah. So if you take your business seriously, your family is just included and also a part of the whole one thing. Cool.
Yeah, and this is also for fathers and also for mothers. But being a mother, it's actually make you much more efficiency. You cannot spend time. We talked about two people that they are not run too fast, or they're not pushing too fast. If you are a parent, I would say, you have to be efficient. So you cannot spend time on things that are not important. So it makes you multitasking, but much more efficiency.
Yeah. So what are your favorite books?
I have to tell you that I'm reading so much, and I'm reading people, not books. I mean, okay. I have a lot of people that I'm kind of following and so on. And I have to tell you that there was one book that really changed my life, and changed my life in a sense that the person that actually recommended this to me, I was, I think, 27, something like this, and it's called the Blue Ocean Strategy. I recommending this a lot of time, again and again, but this is things that showing you how much, in German we call it heiße Luft, kind of like bullshit stuff. And this is something that's showing you how much energy you put in your business on the bullshit stuff, or on those that actually they are money or revenue channels and so on. And since then, this focused me so much how to look at this, and the main concept, and maybe this will answer your first question. The best entrepreneurs, the best idea, sometimes are not even looking at their competitors. Like they're always competition, direct competition, indirect competition. But if you build something that is so genuine with yourself, you're actually building a blue ocean. And blue ocean, which means you are raising a new category. Like no one can really compete you 100%. They can bring something like or near, but not exactly like yourself.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what I brought as W Launch to Germany. This is truly things that wasn't here before. And this is exactly what's going to be with the Fund of Fund, but working with tons of other partners, empowering all the people around while you build your own blue ocean.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, sounds interesting. And the last question, which would be interesting, if you could go back in time to your 18-year-old self, what would you tell her?
18. Oh my God, I was in the army. I would say, trust yourself. Trust your instinct. I learned to use my intuition not early enough, unfortunately. We have a good sensors that we have to use them business-wise. I mean, everything, but I'm focused on the business right now. Yes, absolutely. And I think at the moment that I really found myself within my business, it was really went to the right direction. The company where, did a bigger impact. Suddenly great deals came, and the energy was flowing in the right way. And I think it's really, really within who you are and what you bring. Because if you feel like you kind of like copy paste from something, or from something that you wrote, and it's not genuine, freestyle, like before the podcast we said, like, come on, freestyle, and it has to be like this. It has to be genuine, because if it's really yourself, you don't have to be afraid from nothing. Partners will come, energy will come, good people will enter to your life. And I would love to tell to myself, definitely 18, to trust this, to build it as earlier as I could.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the smart questions.
Thank you for being a part in the podcast. And I would say until next time, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.